Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Please sit down. Secretary Greg Domingo, former Secretary Marojas, Mr. Dan Reyes, Mr. John Marie Mercado, Mr. Lito Tayag, members of the Board of Trustees of the Executive Committee of the Information Technology and Business Process Association of the Philippines, delegates from the Information Technology Business Process Management Industries, fellow workers of government, honored guests, mga minamahal ko pong kababayan, magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat. Last year, I was forthright about the problem I have whenever I talk to the members of the IT-BPM industry, that my past speeches have covered possibly all the topics that I could talk about. So for a change of pace, my speech today, I understand, will be extremely short. Let me express my deepest congratulations on your continuing success and my hope for more success in the future. Thank you and good day. But all jokes aside, although I'm really tempted to end it in that manner, all jokes aside, and I'm sorry to disappoint those of you who wanted the shorter version, it does seem like every day of the past few years has been an extremely good day for your industry. I remember the story of one company in particular who said is present in this room that has grown threefold these past 5 years. In 2010, I made what I thought was a very reasonable request that if they wanted to help in our efforts to grow the economy, perhaps they could expand their workforce from the then 20,000 level to 30,000 employees by the end of our administration. With a few months still remaining in my term, they have not only granted that request of a 30,000 workforce, they have even doubled what I originally asked for because they now stand at 60,000 employees. In hindsight, I probably should have asked for that latter figure. Whatever the numbers are for each of the individual companies operating on our shores today, I am sure that all of you have similarly compelling stories. After all, in my time as president, I have celebrated the breakneck pace at which you have grown, from $8.9 billion in revenues in 2010 to $18.9 billion in 2014, from 520,000 employees in 2010 to more than double that at 1.07 employees in 2014. Of course, these figures remind me that when Secretary Domingo reports on the prospects, by the time that I stepped down from office, we still wonder if he was really just sandbagging and if the numbers will be reached before the end of the year. Right now, because of you, more than 1 million Filipinos are assured of stable incomes to help them pay the rent and the bills, put food on the tables, send their younger siblings or their children to school, and even make monthly payments on their new cars or condominiums. Some time ago, I was told that both the automobile and the real estate industry cater to you as a very specific segment of the market. Even better news comes in the fact that one-third of the IT-BPM industry's workforce, or more than 300,000 men and women, are employed outside Metro Manila, which means that your industry brings development to the countryside. All administrations have sought to accelerate the development of the countryside through infrastructure development, power generation, an increased focus on agriculture, and the pursuit of industrialization, amongst other interventions. They have met varying degrees of success. For us, however, one thing is clear. Your industry can be non-existent in a particular area today, but once the facilities are in place, once you see the talent that is widely available, the IT-BPM sector takes root and suddenly brings about massive development. The statistics tell us that for every job your industry creates directly, an additional 2.5 indirect jobs are generated in support services, from restaurants and convenience stores to public transportation and housing. Thus, on top of the 300,000 men and women you have already employed, you have also helped to give livelihoods to an additional 750,000 Filipinos outside Metro Manila. Even in our dream of bringing rapid development to the countryside, the IT-BPM industry is definitely a positive contributor. Indeed, the IT-BPM industry is a microcosm of our administration's inclusive growth agenda, where jobs are created all around the country, where our people's salaries go far beyond day-to-day subsistence and instead redound to opportunities to better their situations both now and in the future. We want to replicate this kind of success in each and every sector and in the entire economy. In this endeavor, as with all others, it is our single most important resource, the Filipino people, who will propel us to greater heights. To those of you who share this belief, it is nice to reflect on the fact that there were many who believed as we did and consequently jump-started your industry in the Philippines quite some time ago. An excellent example of this is Mar Rojas, who is with us today, who was then Secretary of Trade and Industry. In the middle of the Asian financial crisis, he scrutinized what seemed like a grim economic landscape and saw potential in the union of our countrymen's talents and your sector. He reached out to industry leaders and through the Make It Philippines strategy or Make IT Philippines strategy, aggressively marketed the Philippines as a destination for investments in this sector. None of this, I have to emphasize, was done for personal gain or glory. Everything Mar did, he did to facilitate your growth and the progress of Filipinos. In fact, he expressly asked his family not to apply in the eco zones, which is why Cubao in Quezon City was one of the last places to be developed as a location for the IT-BPM industry. I understand it has only been very, very recently that it has joined this bandwagon. It does not come as any surprise then that Mar is now known as the father of the BPO industry in the Philippines. The care that he, together with partners in your industry, took in establishing and driving the growth of IT-BPM in the Philippines resulted in an unparalleled boom. All of you play a part in this. You continue to make the decision to bet on the inherent skill, dynamism, and creativity of Filipinos, and your decision likewise continues to pay off. Today, you are well aware. Today you are well on your way to becoming a $25 billion industry, although I still question the figures presented by the Secretary of Trade. The Philippines has been the global leader in voice BPM since 2010 and is quickly pursuing the same kind of success in the various other fields of the industry. To those of you who have bet on our people, doesn't your experience tell you that indeed we have the capacity to become number one in so many other fields? The good news is that IBPAP and our government, together with other stakeholders, are already working together to move up the value chain. There is, as already mentioned, the Service Management Program, or SMP, which is designed to cultivate the skills needed for employment in your industry. The UP Open University and the IBPAP have likewise worked together to convert SMP courseware into an online format, which has benefited 1,200 enrollees thus far. A significant number of these are actually overseas Filipino workers who, upon returning home, have a better chance of finding employment with you. There is also the IBPAP's collaboration with our Technical Educational and Skills Development Authority, or TESDA, under the Training for Work Scholarship Program to train graduates seeking employment in your companies. As of August this year, government funding for TWSP for the IT-BPM sector has reached 1.61 billion pesos, which has benefited more than 200,000 Filipinos. The expertise you possess will help us to maintain and perhaps even widen our lead in voice BPM. At the same time, there are plenty of opportunities for us to move up the value chain and provide even more specialized services. I am told that various associations in the IT-BPM industry have likewise partnered with TESDA to implement training programs in animation and game development offered in different areas in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Game Dev Philippines is another example. Our government, together with the Game Development Association of the Philippines, has taken significant steps towards developing our capacities in this area. Some accomplishments include the development and approval of a game development curriculum and outbound business missions to build partnerships with other countries. As further recognition of the fact that talent is abundant in every province, we have been working to develop cities outside Metro Manila who can play host to IT-BPM operations. 42 cities and areas are on our priority list now, are on our priority list now, and roadshows to promote the industry were completed in Capiz and Pangasinan this year, with the last stop being General Santos in a matter of a month's time. We have done so much together. Thank you for partnering with us not only to maintain our industry lead, but also to enter other avenues and offer more specialized services. To my mind, this is the best thing about the Philippines IT-BPM industry. There are many areas yet to explore. Our success story is far from over, and who knows, perhaps next year you will be holding the summit in Dumaguete or in another next wave city that has experienced an industry boom. Perhaps next year you will be talking about how best to integrate basic animation and software development into the service management program to open even more doors of opportunities for Filipino students. The possibilities for growth are endless, and our countrymen are definitely ready to partner with you to turn these possibilities into vibrant realities. Of course, by this time next year, I will only be hearing about the next IT-BPM summit when I read the newspapers or watch television. By this time next year, the Philippines would have made its voice heard on the crucial question of 2016. Will the principles, governance, and reforms that have brought us to this point continue? Or would the country have decided to turn its back on everything we have achieved? I have every confidence and every faith that the Filipino people will choose the path to even greater success for the entire nation. I may be a private citizen then and still IT challenged, and no longer making rounds on stages like this one. But do not worry, I will cheer you on just as much as I have done this past 5 years as president. After all, I have seen firsthand the confidence you have in my countrymen and the investments you have made to build on their skills. I have seen that as your companies continue to have good days and look forward to brighter prospects, you ensure the same for Filipinos and their families. Again, my congratulations and sincerest thanks to all of you for being such able partners. Thank you and good day.